At some point, they're going to work together on another collaborative project, but for now, I guess we'll just have to settle for Beats by Alchemist and new verses by Benny the Butcher, if we have to.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Brews and Reviews. It's Knowledge, and today I am talking about the album announcement from Denzel Curry and Kenny Beats, and that is Unlocked 1.5, and I'm reviewing their first track off of that, the So Incredible remix, produced by Robert Glasper, featuring Smino, and I am sipping on a Prairie Brewing Company Vape Tricks. This is a really sour ale that's local to my area, Oklahoma, and this is one of our best breweries here, Prairie, and actually their best known is called the Prairie Bomb. Try that one if you get a chance, but I thought that this can and this sour beer is going to go best with the theme of this project, so let's get into it. So we got a bit of an unexpected surprise earlier this week. I see this thumbnail from Denzel Curry's channel on YouTube, and it's simply titled 1.5, and I'm thinking, cool, a new track from Zel coming off of his monster performance on the Bruh remix with Jid. I also reviewed that one, so check that out, but I was really excited for a new single, and then I clicked on it, and the first one you see and hear is Kenny Beats. So I'm thinking, hey, that's even better. Their chemistry last year was undeniable. So now we got a new track from Zel and Kenny. Then we see some cameos on the video, and we're seeing the Alchemist, Anne Muldrow, Robert Glasper, and Smino. So then you really start to wonder, what is this all about? Then I finally realized that this is actually not a single, but a trailer for a new remix project. Yes, they are remixing Unlocked. That is the 1.5 that they are referring to in the title of this YouTube video. And that was one of the best releases of 2020. But before I get into how great that album was, let's talk about how well done this trailer is. It's not some BS thrown together for an album announcement. They took their time to really make it interesting and create a story around it. It starts off with these other artists supposedly listening to the new project that Kenny Beats and Denzel Curry put together, and Smino immediately calls it ass. Robert Glasper says, hey, let me fix that, to which Kenny Beats says, don't let him touch it, he'll throw a saxophone in it, and Denzel says, what does he know about rap anyway? He's a jazz artist. Of course, we know that Robert Glasper knows a little something about rap because he's worked with Kendrick, Common, Big Crit, Lupe Fiasco, and Zel knows that too, which is what makes this comment hilarious. And then Zel reveals his sinister plan, which was to create an album by stealing from the minds of all of these great artists to create the real 1.5. And this trailer lets us know too that there will probably be a good visual element to the entire project, just like there was with the original. And they reveal the full track list for Unlocked 1.5, which is completely stacked. We've got Robert Glasper and Smino on So Incredible. We've got Anne Muldrow and Arlo Parks on track 7. We've got Cosmic, produced by the Alchemist, featuring Joey Badass, and I'm really excited for that one. Take It Back, produced by Charlie Heat, Sango and Kenny Mason on Pyro. Layup, produced by, big surprise, Jay Versace. Interested to hear how that might sound, because I don't see him producing a Zel track at all. The remix of the most popular track off the original, Diet, this one featuring Benny the Butcher.
Really looking forward to that one too.
And then to round it out, there's another version of Take It Back produced by Godmode. Let me know in the comments which one of these tracks that you're the most excited for, the Joey Badass, Benny the Butcher, or something else here. Now back to praising the original project. This was in my top 5 EPs of the year. Actually, number 1 on my top 5 EPs of the year. Check out that video. But not only was it the number 1 EP of the year, but in my opinion, this is both of these artists' best work. And some people might think it's sacrilegious to say that, Zel, who has Imperial, and Zoo, but I think the length of this project is actually to its strength because every bar is just in the right place on that EP. Every single line, every word, every drum, synth, production element is just perfect on that project, and there wasn't enough time for things to get boring. It was a very interesting album, and they worked in so much to such a short project. And it also stuck to this great theme. And I was really hoping to get a follow-up, a true follow-up to that this year, which I think we probably still will at some point, that they're going to work together on Unlocked 2 or another collaborative project. But for now, I guess we'll just have to settle for Beats by Alchemist and new verses by Benny the Butcher, if we have to. And the first single off this project has already dropped, and that's the So Incredible remix. And as soon as it comes on, you know that they're going from a completely different sound from the original. Whereas the beat came in so smooth and Zel was immediately flowing over it. Instead, here we've got Zel almost a cappella, save for just a few bass synth notes underscoring his familiar lyrics, until he hits that "coming out of the zoo" line. And then we got the production from Robert Glasper fully kicking in. And it's definitely jazzy with some female vocal harmonies, some jazzy keys, and rim shots on the percussion. This is a very stark contrast to the original beat, and it kind of makes you realize that we don't hear Zel on a lot of jazzy beats. His energetic style doesn't necessarily fit in with those normally. And you can still hear all of the energy on his verse from the original recording, but somehow it still works over this jazz production. This chorus is still catchy as ever with the mic check 1 2 1 2. I'm a sucker for anything that references that classic hip-hop line, the mic check, microphone checker, 1 2 1 2, mic check 1 2 1 2, anything like that. Every song that does that for the chorus or otherwise is great. And I'm going back to KRS-One, to DOS Effects, all the way to Freddie Gibbs doing it last year, the microphone checker. That fundamental line from hip-hop always sounds great. The best part of this new production may actually be the breakdown between Denzel and Smino's verses. It sounds very much like live instrumentation that we would expect from Robert Glasper, with a kind of improvisational drum pattern as well as some recorded samples over it. Smino also improvises with some ad-libs before he comes on, saying that he's got curries in his family. And sure enough, these two are actually related, which they just figured out recently and revealed on Twitter. Here's the exchange. You can read that for yourself about their actual relation. And Smino delivers a great 16 here, and he himself is coming fresh off another great 2021 song, and that is Plead the 45th off the Judas and the Black Messiah soundtrack, which I also reviewed, so check out that review when you get a chance. But that was one of the best songs actually on that entire project. Maybe not the best, but definitely one that stood out to me, and that is a stacked track list as well. So that's saying a lot for Smino. So these two artists, these two related artists coming together, both have some of the best tracks of 2021 so far between the Bruh remix and Plead the 45th. On this track, Smino comes in like a smoother, jazzier Danny Brown, and he's hitting some crazy emphasis, some off-kilter, flippant enunciation on words in a very unique way. When he says getting lifted like elevators and bricks, on the very first listen, I thought that he might be referencing Outkast, which would have been really cool, and I still hope that it's a subtle nod to Outkast at least, but upon further listens, I think that he's just talking about being high, which isn't as cool as referencing Outkast, but you can tell by the bricks part of that line what he's talking about, but it does lead nicely into the next two lines. He says, then let me paint a quick picture. It's high squiat, let me spark. I've been on Big Ginger, I'm Bob Ross with the art. Using an interesting metaphor, Highskiat, to reference the well-known artist Basquiat, but he's high. So he's basically saying that he's a high artist. And then he goes on to reference another great artist, the dude who painted Happy Little Clouds. He's talking about Bob Ross. And now that I think about it, with his obsession with Happy Little Clouds, Bob Ross may have been high as hell also. After his verse, we get a nice play out on the instrumental, focusing on the vocal harmonies, and the end of the track is complete with the original obscure samples that they worked into the original So Incredible. In the end, I think I do prefer the original So Incredible to this remix, but that's not to take away of it. Smino's verse is great. The new production by Robert Glasper is great. And that's pretty much true of any remix. If you really enjoyed the original, you're not going to be feeling the second one as much. But if this is its own song, then it's definitely a great release for 2021. And I think this is a good showing and makes me anticipate 1.5 even more. I'll be bumping it the minute it drops. Although I might skip to that Alchemist and Joey Badass song first before I review the album in full. Thank you for watching my review of So Incredible and the album release trailer for 1.5 by Denzel Curry and Kenny Beats. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and hit like now and hit me up in the comments if you didn't like it. Also, let me know why in the comments. I drop hip-hop and hops related content consistently, so subscribe to my channel now, and until I see you next time, keep buzzing.